I want to show you how to bring a path in to After Effects that you drew in Illustrator. So if I bounce over to Illustrator here, you'll see I have this kind of speech bubble. And I just prefer to draw in Illustrator because it's easier for me. I think the controls are a little bit better, a little more nuanced than they are in After Effects. So I drew this and I colorized the line and I'm all ready to go. So there's two ways I like to do this to bring this into After Effects. So the first way is to simply have this, let me hide this here, is to have my file here on the desktop. It can be in a folder wherever you want. And this is just the native Illustrator file. I will drag this over here to my project window and we're going to import that. I'm going to bring that in as footage. We don't want to make a new composition and just merge all the layers. Okay, so now we have the Illustrator file, which is basically connected like a high resolution file. So I'm going to drag it down here and it makes a separate layer out of it. So now this is basically ready to work with. I can make this larger, smaller, but I can't drill down to get to that vector file. Notice if you open this up, all I have is just the regular controls to transform. So one more step I have to go through is if I right click on the layer down here or control click on it, if I go to create and then create shapes from vector layer, now it'll create a brand new shape that is very After Effects friendly. It kind of makes its own version of this. And notice that it basically makes your Illustrator file and the layer here invisible. So now if I drill down through the layers here, open these up, if I get down to path, that's where I want to be. So if I click path, now you'll see that I have full control over this as a vector path. And I can adjust this, redraw it, add points to it, whatever I want to do. And if I click up here off of path back on just the main layer, I can still adjust this way as well. And if I want to increase the size of this stroke, I can do it up here. I can change the color if I'd like to whatever I want, and I have full control over the vector. So that's a pretty nice way to do it. I like doing it that way for some instances. I'm going to show you one other way that I actually think is a little bit faster. I'm going to take all these files out of here. So the way this works in After Effects is I am going to start with just a blank screen. It wouldn't matter if you had a whole bunch of videos and layers in here. You just don't want to have anything selected. So I will go to my pen tool and I will simply just click. I usually like to do 3. I'll do 3 dots. I don't close this path to make it into a shape. So once I have this drawn, notice that it creates a shape layer for me. And you don't have to do this, but I'm going to open it up so you can see that there's a path here that we have. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to Illustrator, and with my just regular selection tool, not my direct select or group select, just regular select, I'll select this vector path. You can see in here, it's just a regular vector path. I'm going to Command C to copy this, or of course you can always go up here to copy. I'm going to bounce back to After Effects, and with this path selected at this layer here where you can see these anchor points, simply type Command V to paste, and it will replace that vector line that you had drawn with the new one. Notice that it also replaces the color and the contents and everything else. So you can still go in and adjust this. So what it has done now is it has replaced that 3 little points that you drew in there with whatever you paste. It's just how After Effects does it. And now I can go back here, select this layer. I can enlarge this like I was the other one. I can adjust the stroke on here. I can adjust the colors. It's just like every other vector shape I have in here. And if I choose the path in here, I can adjust this just like any other vector object. So there's 2 different ways to bring in a vector drawing from Illustrator into After Effects, get it on its own layer, and get it ready to be animated. All right, thank you very much.